Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast, covering Ipswich Town since 2015. I'm Richard Woodward and you're tuned into the Flagship show, available each week on podcast, audio and video. Joining us this week for an hour or so of irreverent but hopefully informative Ipswich Town chat live this week is Craig Fimbo and David Diamond. Gentlemen, have you both thawed off yet? I've still got my rosy cheeks, but how are you doing? It's cold, isn't it?
It was cold today, yeah. First time this season. It was raw, I think the only description was.
Bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I shock you? I'm still wearing my long johns.
Yeah. There you go. There's an image for everyone watching live. We want to hear from you this evening on Craig Long Johns or anything for
Craig
that matter.
Long John Fimbo.
And interestingly, and as I found out when entering the men's facilities, I had to I was like a toddler in that I had to undo my button and zip and pull my trousers down to go to the loo.
That's an even worse thought. Oh no.
Evening, everyone. I'm hoping everyone's either had their dinner or had their breakfast, depending.
Or enjoying their Savoy and chips.
Whoa, this has taken a terrible turn. I need to move us on very quickly. As I say, it will be on a day like today, won't it? We are live, so we want to hear from all of you. This is our usual Flagship show, though, easy for me to say, so it won't be as interactive as we do on our Wednesday nights, but we'll try and get as many comments in as we can. Certainly any emoji reactions to that one, any thoughts or questions or observations, we'll try and get in as many as we can. Obviously keen to get Craig and Dave's view on this one. I've got no news, guys, so we may as well crack straight on. The only news worth mentioning was that ITFC women were supposed to Crawley today in the cup, and that was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch, which I think was quite helpful in lots of respects. From what I hear on the rumour mill, though not yet confirmed, that should be rescheduled quite swiftly, and given they've postponed a match next weekend, there's a good chance that we might be seeing that replayed next weekend, next Sunday. So keep a lookout at ITFC Women for all the details on that.
Just a point on that. Is that like the FA Cup? So if they get through this round, will then the Premier teams come into it, or the Premier teams are in it now?
Question. I don't know. I assume so.
At what point, what round did they play Man City last year? Was that third round?
Fifth round.
Oh, God, I got that far. Wow.
Because they beat Huddersfield.
Oh, yeah, they
didn't
did.
they?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm trying to remember. But yeah. Not too sure. If anyone knows, tell us in the comments what the situation is there. What a goal today, John. We will be definitely talking about that one. What else is going on in the chat? Here we go. Evening, everyone defrosted. Could have been a Spurs from the USA.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I missed that one, Simon. But the other guys seem to know what's going on there.
It was called off 50 minutes beforehand for a snowstorm.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was just blizzard.
Yeah.
Turf ball was blizzard. Absolute blizzard.
Apparently, it was last minute, complete dump of snow. Just had to call the game off. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Ouch. John, made really hard work today. I think we agree with that. So keep the chat going on. We will dip into that as much as we can. For now, let's jump into the match action. Talking of teams, let's put the teams up on the screen for everyone so we can talk about that. Only one change for Ipswich on the team that faced Rotherham midweek. Aluko in for Evans, meaning Fraser dropped in alongside Morsey. And despite being unceremoniously substituted partway through the second half, Bailey Clements kept his space in left back. And Matt Penny, who obviously came on for him, was nowhere to be seen. Same with Coulson. Guys, before we talk about Crewe, your thoughts about that one? Craig, happy with that lineup?
I think Evans had done enough to deserve to be left out. I think of the starting 11. He hasn't. He's flattered to see, hasn't he, a hell of a lot in the last few matches. been given plenty of opportunity to stake a claim and stamp his authority on matches, and doesn't seem to do so. As you say about Clements, the fact that Penny wasn't on the bench might lead you to believe that maybe he was injured, given he came on for the second half and say was nowhere to be seen this week. It seemed a strange one. I had Penny been fit, I think I'd have probably got him in, and probably got Vincent Young in instead of Dynasty, just to give us a bit more oomph and impetus and attacking threat going forward. But you can knock Cook for a lot of things, but you can't knock him for his loyalty to the guys that are holding the shirt, I suppose.
Dave, happy to see Aluko in at right wing, a round peg in a round hole, as it were.
Yeah, very much so. I thought it just gave a better balance to it. I mean, on the whole Clements Penny thing, if you remember, Penny came on and he was dreadful. He was awful on Tuesday, and we've seen it before with Cook. We've seen players, have a sort. Well, at Plymouth, I think he wasn't after the Plymouth game. He disappeared. He disappeared again. So he didn't stake. Let's say he didn't stake a claim on Tuesday. That's for sure. But yeah, pleased to see Aluko back. I agree with Craig Evans. Flat as to deceive, but yeah, that didn't surprise me. Perhaps he's not the most forward-thinking of our midfield players. So yeah, good to see. I guess Fraser get a start in there, and we'll get onto him, no doubt.
We were having a debate in the pub, I think, about what kind of midfielder is Lee Evans. What would you describe him as? I mean, maybe this is a question for Craig with kind of football manager role profiles or what have you, but is he a box-to-box midfielder? Because I don't think particularly liked him getting forward at Doncaster.
He's a CM.
He's a CM, isn't he?
That's it, isn't it? That is.
He's not a deep line playmaker. He's not a ball-winning midfielder.
No.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one to.
Exactly what he is. He's a central midfielder that can ping a ball quite nicely from side to side.
I think we were talking about before the match.
One side of the pitch to the other. You can.
We were talking before the match, saying he's just an ideal build, isn't he, for a central midfielder?
Everything.
He's big. Attribute. He's strong when he wants to do it, but he's just since the Doncaster game, the hat-trick he scored in the Doncaster game, I think I've barely seen him in the box. There was once today when he came on, and you thought, "Blimey, he's ahead of the ball," and he suddenly appeared sort of quite deep in the area on the left there, but. Yeah, he's a conundrum whether he's playing to instruction. Well, I think Cook said after the Donny game, didn't he, that okay, he scored a hat-trick, well done, but I don't really want to see him playing there. There's a clue there, probably. That would be my one thing about having Fraser playing alongside Morsey, is you're not getting the best out of Fraser by playing him so deep. He doesn't get a chance to affect the game further up the pitch.
He's still not played in that 10 role, has he?
Well, we'll talk about the substitutions certainly in a bit. We need to just very briefly talk about Crewe, out of respect to our opposition. Looking at them, 3 at the back, which is what we expected. They typically do that. A few changes though, some surprises. Terrell Thomas drops out. Luke Offords comes in. Regan Griffiths starts instead of Magic Gomez. That's his first league start on the left-hand side of that midfield 3. Bit of a surprise. Luke Murphy, I think it's a 5th booking for him against Wimbledon, so he missed out through suspension. Oliver Finney comes in and slots in on the right-hand side, and Tom Lowry drops into the middle. Otherwise, as you were up front with Chris's Long and Porter. Porter now 37. He can do 3 games in a week. Good for him. That's your Crewe lineup. And Dave, I mean, we're going to kick off and we're going to take the lead almost straight away, 3 minutes in. Aluko and Dynasty doing damage down the right.
Absolutely superb, Aluko and Dynasty down the right. And they'd done it literally seconds before, and the ball was sort of blocked. The ball was blocked out. And then I think we said, what incredible feat from Aluko. I mean, he beat what made, just dropped his shoulder, beat his man once, beat his man twice, turned him absolutely inside out. And the perfect ball just along that, 3 yards in that corridor of uncertainty, and obviously turned in. Up from where I was, I couldn't really see. Did it hit the post and go in? Because I'm quite low down, so on a sort of angle with that. But it was deflected in. It's not his goal. They've given it to somebody else. So It was offered. Yeah, full back. But brilliant. So quick feet.
Great feet.
Really quick feet. I think I said he ought to be on Strictly. It was quite topical, but it really was quick feet. It's superb play. And again, you 1-0 up, you're on top, and we were again for 10 minutes. You think, okay, this could be another Donny here. We got the early goal, brilliant. We just regressed again, didn't we?
Yeah. I can't remember a chance after that, because the next thing I've got written down is an effort for Crewe. Go on, Craig, you were going to say something.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, sort of tagging on to what Dave's saying there about us stepping off. Cook said it himself. I listened to Suffolk on the drive on the way home, and he was as exasperated as everyone else. Say, I don't know why these guys just stopped playing. Why would you want to stop playing the way you've been playing and getting joy from it and getting success from it to suddenly stop? So it's a mentality thing that for some reason, and it's happened before this season. I'm sure he's did something similar, that we've got ahead and then we've all just sat back. He's not telling them to stop shooting and stop attacking and stop getting crosses in. They're just
it's strange, isn't it?
It's happening.
And I think we've had folk ask us about complacency. I think we've got a question about that, so I maybe won't drill too much into that one. But maybe that is the kind of things that get into the mind. Is we've got the goal now, we're at home, we should go on and win this. But in fact, I think if I put up I do love these attacking momentum graphs. There you go. There's the flurry at the start, and then Crewe come back into it from the kind of that 15th minute onwards until towards the end of the first half. And Walton's forced into a really excellent save. I think the shot is possibly hitting the bar. It's Long and Porter who are kind of hooking up again. They got each other a goal and an assist against AFC Wimbledon midweek, and that partnership is really paying dividends for them, albeit it's not really turning games for them. But Long has got 3 and 3. We'll talk about his goal second half. And Walton, as I said, tips it over. I think it's probably hitting the bar, but he's got to make the save. And then Finney has a go on 22. Larry crosses to Finney, who has another go and shanks it well wide. But to me, that's Ipswich kind of fell out of the game really, and really flattered to deceive.
What I like about Crewe, you know Crewe, and this been through the ages when we played Crewe, they've always played nice football. That's the ethos of the club, isn't it? They get players through their academy, sell them for big money. That is just the whole ethos of the club. And I thought today, I said to my lad watching, I said they won't kick. They're 1-0 down, but they'll start playing football. They won't kick us, which is great because it made for a reasonably open game. You knew they were never going to go. And with a little bit more quality in the final third, we could have been in real trouble today. Real trouble.
Yeah.
It would a little bit of quality in either end. It'd have been another 6-4, either way.
Yeah, no. Someone said 5-2, and it's probably right. Probably would have been about that. Yeah.
There's a couple of chances towards half time. Town corner falls to the edge of the area. Morsey has a go. Richard saves in goal, drops Chaplin, but I think he's offside. He's diving.
Yeah, the flag was up just in front of me. Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do, Craig, is I'm going to put this image up here, and in question of sport styly, what happened next from this position here? XG of.
Yeah, we were chatting when we just off air beforehand. The goal during the week that Liverpool scored, that beautiful just off the half volley goal that Liverpool scored during the week. That had an XG of 0.05.
Yeah,
just before he hit that. And I'd imagine this one's got a couple of 0.0 decimal points off of that one, hasn't it? And when Dave started talking in the first instance about Aluko, and I was like, because it was down our corner where Aluko was weaving his magic in the first 8 minutes, and then it all sort of stopped. And I was like writing some notes on my phone. Finidi George, Derby. I wrote. And lo and behold, I appreciate it wasn't against Derby, but it's still Finidi George. Very, very similar goal that, Edmondson just pumps it long from back. And Mick Mills said it in the summary afterwards that it obviously came from our left-sided centre half diagonally to the right, but Celina had drifted across from the left wing. And just that touch, the touch more than the finish for me, just the outside of his foot, just to drop it down with one touch, dead on the outside of his foot. And then from then on, from that screenshot you just showed, to have
it can only go from where I was watching it. That's pretty much my view, but lower. It can only go in one place. That you can only put that ball to score in one place. It was unbelievable goal.
There's a line you could draw between those two centre backs, isn't there?
It's probably the only one I've seen relatively similar to that, and I think as good as that ever is Cantona against.
We were talking about Cantona against Sunderland.
Yeah. Hang on, Dave. What about your best mate?
Glenn Hoddle. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'll just put that to one side because that's obviously the best. Yeah, but for a similar goal from because Hoddle's even had more I think Hoddle's had even more dip on it. I think
and he'd had the drag back. He'd had the
drag back, you know, the Cruyff turn and everything. But this was the closest I've seen to this was Cantona. And someone said, well, I don't know if you're going to take questions, but someone tweeted me and said, you know, is that one of the best goals you've ever seen down there? And yeah, you know, we talk about the old games of the 70s, but in recent years, say 10 years, I can think of Cresswell's Thunder Bastard against Palace, maybe Bullard's consolation against Norwich. You know, I know, all right, how many were we down? 3 or 4 at the time. There hasn't been many better goals than that, and it's not many players at any level that can score a goal like that. No. Unbelievable.
You won't see a technically better goal
anywhere
in League One all season.
Oh, for God's sake, no.
There's no one in League One that can do that.
Do you know the real classy bit for that? I've looked back on it, and he has a little glance. As soon as he gets it under, he gives it the look. So that he makes it better. I mean, it's just. And he was interviewed afterwards, and of course he said, "Yeah, he does it all the time in training." Of course he does.
Yeah, and there'd been
he's ruined Hladky doing that in training.
That's why he's got his confidence.
Yeah. He just sort of knocks it relatively close to Hladky, and Hladky does the rest. But what's quite interesting actually is watching the bench, because I always like to watch the reaction of Paul Kirk and stuff. Gary Roberts was literally
Chaplin do that as well.
Chaplin the same. And it's just a shame I did my phone ready on WhatsApp, because he was celebrating right in front of me, and his face was just a joy, absolute joy. And I saw by the time I whipped my phone out, they turned round celebrating.
You're not one of those guys that watches.
He's too busy getting his poster ready for "Can I have your shirt?" burst out.
Yeah. Well, but oh my God, and I've got to say, I don't know if you guys think probably undeserved. 2-0, probably.
I think so too.
On the balance. It's harsh on them.
It's worth just if folk in the chat, and I do see, by the way, we will come to stuff in the chat after we've kind of talked through the main match action. So keep your thoughts, observations, questions coming in. We'll turn Tim's question outwards. He only asked Dave, Craig, didn't ask you or me about the best goal we've ever seen at Portman Road. So despite Tim, I'm going to ask everyone that question. So we'll come back to folk and give it. I'm only joking, Tim. We want to hear your goal, Tim. Favorite Portman Road goal, and that would be high up there. Finidi, I think, is probably my one. But
same. I think Finidi for the move and the on the run.
That was a great.
Marcus Bent's backflip,
Holland, everything. Ridiculous goal.
So but as you say, I mean, and that's half time. And did 2-0 flatter us, in your opinion, guys? Craig's nodding his head.
Yeah. So. Apart from that first 8-10 minutes of intensity, as Dave said, you thought, crikey, he was having started like that, like a house on fire, and Aluko dancing through the bloody defence. He had Williams and Adib. Your pronunciation. Come on, Rich, you need to sort us out with the pronunciation here. Adib.
Are we talking about the centre back?
The left wing back. No, the left wing back. Williams was the left back. The left centre half. He had them both on toast in that first 10 minutes. He was going at will. He was going down, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Then we just stopped. 8-10 minutes, and that was it for the half. We didn't do anything after that. Chaplin was suffering the curse of the number 10, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I thought Fraser was busy. And I think that role, the deeper role, suits him, but not a huge amount of service output. Bon was there, and we'll talk about Bon in the second half. I just inadvertently stuck a cushion up there, but
it was quite apparent that when we did get crosses in the box, there was only Bon in there.
Yeah, and what frustrates me is from time to time we go long to Bon. That's a nice rhyming couplet, and he's actually quite good in the air to flick things on. But he nods the ball central. Who's going to be there? No one's up with him because he's out on his own. It just frustrated me a little bit, but. Yeah, 2-0 half time. You kind of think, well, build. We want to double that score at least, don't we?
Yeah.
We want a repeat of Donny. And there are chances here, guys. There are chances. Aluko cuts in, has a shot straight at the keeper. Bon cuts in, curls a shot just wide the post. Aluko has a volley wide. NCR heads onto the roof of the net from a corner. The chances are there. But again, the keeper's not had to make a huge amount of saves today, has he? And that becomes more and more of a common theme during these conversations. 66. Is this the bit where we were a bit too complacent or a bit too clever? Edwards for Aluko, Evans for Chaplin. I think Fraser is nudged into the 10. Edwards obviously goes over to the left. Celina goes over to the right. Chaplin stays. Is it Evan? Yeah, Fraser, sorry, into the 10.
Yeah, well, he sort of pushed
Kind
Evans
of.
and Fraser forward, didn't he? Because Evans wasn't next to Moores. They were sort of staggered up the pitch. It wasn't the normal. Well, from what I could see, didn't look like the normal.
Was it kind of a 4-1-4-1 type?
Yeah, or even they were sort of just slightly asymmetric, to go back to your FM. They just seemed to be slightly staggered further up the pitch. Evans wasn't alongside Morsey, but he wasn't up front with, in the number 10 alongside Fraser. But to my eyes, it didn't. It seemed to, certainly through the middle of the pitch, we were all over the place. They were cutting through.
Yeah, they were. Evans had no influence on the game at all, did he?
Edwards
did. I've got to say, Edwards did. Edwards, I thought.
Well, yeah,
a little cameo did well again. I thought.
He had that chance, didn't he, Dave? A few minutes almost straight after coming on. Cuts in. Oh no! So this is
a bit later on, wasn't it?
Celina. Why? This is the shot. This is the chance for Bon.
Yeah.
Edwards dashes in, feeds Celina on the edge of the box. No, on the right hand side, actually, isn't he?
Yeah, he Celina passes it back.
I mean, I know they gave a goal kick, but does the defender not kick it against him?
So
he just shovels that over from a centre.
To be fair to Bon,
I know he's running onto it.
It's quite close in. Celina pings it at him,
yeah,
so he's got to try rather than
drag it.
I think he's leaning back a little bit, but I think he lets the ball just hit the inside of his boot, and the angle just takes it over the bar. Right. I think that was the view that I had about it. Celina probably shoots, actually. He has a shot there more often than not. Maybe he's trying to help his mate out and give him a chance on a plate.
I thought Celina did shoot, but he just shot incorrectly.
Maybe he did. So wayward, it hit Bon and went over. But yeah, we've had half chances and then 73 minutes, guys. You've got a better view of this than I have. How has Mandron been allowed to take the ball so far here? What's gone on with this?
Yeah, he's allowed to drift, and then he just. I don't think Clements does too much wrong, really. Perhaps loses out initially, but he just shoves it inside on his left foot, and yeah, that's a shot, isn't it? Just hits it towards goal, and I think is it going off? Is it long? Is it
long? Kind of deflects it.
Long, sort of deflects it.
Effort kind of to Bond, kind of what we've just had.
He's able to deflects it in. So pretty soft goal, but it was coming, sort of thing, wasn't it? It was coming. And after that, I mean, they had a bit more quality for them after that, and they could have easily nicked the point there easily.
Yeah, you can see there's the goal on this attacking momentum graph, and then it's their dominance for a period after that, isn't it? And there's a chance on 78. I think it's Finney playing in long, but I think he drags it wide. But I think he's already given offside. And then Ben Knight, I haven't mentioned him yet.
Yeah,
on the bench, one time Ipswich youth
yeah.
prospect, now at Man City on loan at Crewe. 85 minutes, guys. Were you slightly worried, like I was, that the script was being written there for a cameo that was going to cause the points to be shared?
Simon Milton used to absolutely love the kid and said he was like 14. He was like a little Messi, apparently. And I saw him playing one of those academy showpiece games. I think it could have been against Spurs, or might have been against Spurs. Would it have been, or Norwich, something like that? And he was like 15 then. He was literally barely 5 foot. My God, you could see absolutely brilliant. Some of the bigger Spurs lads, he was getting knocked about off the ball, but when he had the ball, his touch, he was just a lovely looking player. And I know Simon Milton said that this kid's got the lot, but obviously Man City came a calling, and because I think he has been in and around. Did he come on in the Charity Shield or something?
Okay, I think he was in the squad in the Charity Shield, and I think he was in the Asia Cup.
That's right.
Squad as well, and I think he's had a recent contract extension to 2025.
I think he has.
So he's only 19, so they obviously still rate him.
I think a lot of it.
Didn't really have a huge amount of impact on this one, but
what did make me laugh? He scuffed a free kick. He didn't get the free kick past the first defender.
Yeah,
and you thought, so we learned that in our academy.
Oh, he's been watching Alan Judge. Yeah, exactly right. And then there are actually two chances. As you say, the goal definitely caused Portman Road to feel on edge. There's something in the chat about Portman Road, the atmosphere. It was definitely uneasy, wasn't it? 87. This was what I was referring to before, Dave. Edwards just goes on one of these mazy runs and no one can stop him. The problem is he gets within a sight of goal, guys, and shanks it high and wide. He does all the hard stuff.
He goes for power, doesn't he? Perhaps he could just almost try and place that one in the corner.
Just pass it.
He beats his men so easily. Does it? He drifts in and out. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, he just needs a.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? The fact that the guy can just effortlessly.
It is effortless.
Drift past two or three blokes, and he's there. And he's.
Do you know what he has got? What I notice about him, he can go from standing still to blinding pace like that. I don't think I've quite seen a player quite like not playing for us for I don't think I've ever seen that. So he could just get the ball sort of wide, knock it out with his feet, and he is lightning, absolute lightning.
And the thing is, as well, Christ, well, can you imagine, Rich, if he gets an end product to his game?
Perhaps perhaps it is. Maybe he's just too quick. He just needs to relax. When he's in that position, I know that's an art in itself, but just relax a bit. But bloody hell, he's an exciting player.
And the thing is, well, people know him, don't they? People know him, so they step off him in any case. And once, as Dave knows, once you've beaten your man once, you've got him on toast. Once you've done him once, he knows damn well he's going to give you even more space, so you've got even more chance to get past him again. But that run was just a lot, and he did it. To be fair to the guy, as soon as he come on the pitch, he was doing it, wasn't he? He was going again and again and again and again.
Just needs one. Do you know what? And I think it'll take him to another level. Just needs a goal, a really good assist, something like that, like a mazy run like that. Beat 3 or 4 guys, get to the line. Someone has a tap in off his cross. He just needs that, and I think it'll take him to another level because he's got it. No doubt about that. Goodness me.
Talking of players who've got it, and I'm gonna be banging this drum for as long as I can. Fraser sends Bond through with a lovely through ball pass on 90 odd minutes, and I've seen chat about Bond and his form at the moment, guys. But Bond a month ago scores this. Today it's too close to the keeper, and Richards gets a foot, and 3-1 would that have been a fair reflection for you, or is 2-1 the full-time score? Kind of an uncomfortable 2-1 win given the opposition. That's how it ended. What was your kind of overriding emotion at the end of that game?
Well, just thankful that we got a win, I think is the emotion. But Donatian saved a goal, didn't he? In the last minute, goal-saving tackle. Yeah, goal-saving tackle. 2 or 3 yards out, and they got another cross in. I don't think it would have been untoward for a draw. I thought Crewe were good. I thought they were. I think Matt said in the one of the comments a bit further up that once those substitutions were made, we just had gaps in the central midfield. They were cutting through us at will, and Morsey had no protection alongside him. I thought Crewe were more than value for a draw. But saying that, as you said, we did have a lot of chances, although we didn't keep with any of them. No.
Dave, Cook's come out and said, yet again, our consistency is our inconsistency. 20 odd games in, whatever it is at the moment. How are you feeling about things? Is this kind of, to borrow, I think Seb has called it this on Twitter, and I daren't quote our colleague without him being here, but I'm going to quote it. He's called it a papering over the cracks win. Would you agree with that?
Look, it was an ideal game today. A game today against a trickier opponent coming off the last 2 games. All right, Sunderland was a good performance. We mugged a bit there, but certainly after being thoroughly, no one disagrees with that, outplayed against Rotherham. It was a nice game. Yeah, it was a nice. You knew Crewe were going to come. They weren't just going to sit in there. Crewe like to play football, and they did. So I think Mr. Cook had not a free ride today, but because it could have gone. You drop a point late on, which we could have done today, and the knives would have really been out. So I to an extent, I do agree with Seb that it was a good game to have. Bottom of the league, obviously low on confidence. Although again, they seem fairly confident once they got into us, and that's I think the problem. I mean, again, you just look at the match stats. I think it was 50-50 possession, which that doesn't happen that often these days. Was it 50-50? There you go.
There you go.
Total shots. I mean, look at that. How even is that? 5 corners, 13 shots, 11.
3 big chances.
What were our 4 shots on target then? I can't remember their goal. They're making too many saves to be perfect.
Morsey's one, wasn't it? The one that Morsey's one, the one that Chaplin headed wide. Aluko scuff.
The Aluko scuff. Yeah. It's like the Cruyff turn.
He shouldn't knock him. He was great.
I was going to say Aluko was good. This comment from Pablo Canuga sums it up quite well. We had quite a few chances, tap in the first half, one twice in the second.
Absolutely.
But I can't help but feel like had Crewe had a bit more about them, they'd have taken an away point. All a bit meh.
A bit worrying, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Just a concern. Just bewildering, really.
Interesting thought. Go on, Craig.
Sorry, Rich. I was just going to say. I noticed that Pablo said earlier that you were talking about the Football Manager and the what would we class Lee Evans as? He's gone for the Segundo Volante, which I never ever use because I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, too posh. Let's start to go through some of these comments and catching up, and then we'll go to Twitter. Negative from James Roddick. I do rate Morsey as a player and a captain, but I do feel we're lacking consistent leadership, not just from him and the rest of the team. Team falling out with each other on the pitch.
There was a bit of that first.
Yeah, so I see Celina and Chaplin. Or was that just?
I thought it was Celina and Bon separated from Chaplin. Was it? Right. I saw it. It was on the other side of the pitch. I'm not sure.
No, Celina and their number 6 were having a right old go at each other, and the others were coming over to sort of pacify.
Okay.
Edmondson had the right hump for the last 20 minutes or so with everyone.
There's definitely a very lots of finger pointing for the Crewe goal. Walton was not happy about something, was he?
Yeah,
but you wouldn't be, I guess, if you just conceded.
I thought young Clements copped a bit for that. I think.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think he turned his back and Walton wasn't happy about it. Was he? He wanted to give him a bollocking. Uber ITFC Paul Cook's post-match very telling. Started the season saying top 2 the target. I'm not. You need to find that for me, Uber. I don't want to. There's a fair point here, but I'm not 100% sure we've ever said top 2 is a target. Recently dropped to the playoffs, and today said along the lines of fans shouldn't have expected a flying season. I guess Cook's got to try and manage expectations, has he? Because you could feel it in the ground, and he referred to it as well that there's a lot of nervousness. Andrew's added post-match interesting, slight criticism of fans are impatient for the team to be gelling at this stage of the season. Whoa. This is a real. We're back in kind of Lambert kind of days now, aren't we, guys? Where there's kind of a feeling of there's probably I don't know what the split is, but there's a good enough number in Portman Road who are clearly not happy with how things are, and will naturally gravitate towards the negative perception, won't they? Whereas you've got folk who are either always super positive regardless, and then maybe a silent majority who are somewhere in the middle who, probably like me, who are a bit fickle. Like one day we're okay, the next day we're pretty poor, and the next day we're brilliant, and we just kind of go game to game. But definitely the fact that they were asking Cook about that in the post-match, Dave, suggests that's being transmitted onto the pitch. Is that a concern for you?
I think it is, and I think you're right. What you said is a very, I say, fickle bunch, but yeah, it seems like sort of very divided there at the moment. I mean, I go down there because you want Town to win. You can see the quality of players we've got, but the entertainment. Oh, okay. Perhaps today is not a good example, but it's much more entertaining, isn't it? For goodness' sake. I mean, yes. Okay, you've got players the quality of Celina that did what he did today, sort of thing. Where previous seasons under Hurst and then Lambert, it was just I hated going, not hated, but just didn't look forward to going down there. But now you do. You look forward to the game, and the first goal goes in after 3 minutes, and we all know what we have done. There's been 6s and 4s and stuff like that, and that because of the quality of player we have in that squad, the expectation is much higher. But I think I read somewhere someone tweeted that in all, I think 26 games we played, including the the Pizza Cup and everything else, we've had 24 different lineups in those games.
Do you want me to go to that question? So that was our mate Justin, wasn't it?
Was it Justin
on the Twitter? Yeah, today was and we'll take his word for it as well. I'm not fact checking here.
Justin will be right.
Today was our 24th different starting lineup this season. 26 games in all competitions.
He's searching for it. He's still
Cook hasn't settled on a best 11, and it's hurting us, says Justin.
Just a quick one about the post-match comments from Cook about setting expectations of bits and pieces. He, a bit like Lambert used to do, he's not only having to set expectations to the fans, he's setting expectations. He's not an idiot. He's setting expectations upwards, isn't he?
Yeah.
To the people in charge. However, the issue that he's got is that unlike Marcus Evans, Mark Ashton's not an idiot. He knows what's going on. So he's not going to fall. He's not going to fall for the bullshit. So he's got to.
And as we said,
people aren't idiots.
as we said, massive game. I mean, okay, massive games coming up. League, put the cup to one side. So the next 2 league games, Charlton and Wigan away, and then crikey, the biggest crowd that's been in Portman Road. Very next game up, including the new board.
Yes, no pressure there, Paul. Yeah. Charlie D, does today's lackluster show that I think we were debating this all week as well. Ins and outs January, they kind of feel inevitable. A few people making comments about left backs and so on, which I guess is only natural because we've got 3 of them and we've got 4 of them, haven't we? Really, and I guess if you'd been asked to predict who'd be playing left back come the start of December, you'd have been hard pushed to suggest Bailey Clements. So
we've had 4 by the middle of November, haven't we? We've had 4 starting left backs by the middle of November, and there will be ins and outs because you can name at least three of the players in our named squad that aren't getting looking. Jackson, Nolan, and Norwood are all in our named squad, and being counted towards wages, etc., etc. They're not getting a look in, so there's no need for them to be in there. So they can go or be paid off or be loaned out or whatever, and they'll just get people into refresh squad. And you need a left back and a centre half
and another
striker. And a right back and another striker. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Well, talking of centre backs, Andrew, impressed with their number 22. That was a guy called Sass Davis. Don't come across many Sass Davis.
His name was Sass Davis.
Don't think we win enough second balls throughout the whole team. A lot of blaming each other today. Not a good team performance today. You'll be saying those thoughts. We always talk about second balls, don't we, Dave?
All the time.
We're boring, you and I. But we talk.
I thought the young lad, the 17-year-old, 28, had a good game. The left-sided, I thought he looked quite good. The left-sided Williams, the left-sided player. I think he made his debut last season at 16. He's 17 now. I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's a young old team for
and the lad in midfield, 8 with the left foot, Lowry.
Yeah, Lowry, tidy. Yeah, like
painting pictures was he, Dave?
Yeah, he was.
Making
he
shapes.
Was indeed.
I quite like Long. Good pace. I mean, he missed a
bit wasteful, as Joe said, a bit wasteful, but
he's quick and creates as well as scores.
Yeah.
A good combination. John Ipswich, this is an interesting one. What's going on with Walton and his dispatch quality, slowing his size? Do you reckon he's been told to keep hold of the ball and not play it short? Yeah, he was one real option, isn't there? Sorry, Craig.
Yeah, he was at some point in the second half. He was being told to just hold on to it and not do anything. But at other points, he didn't have. He was. Yes, no, I do. I moan at him because he's got options available a lot of the time and doesn't throw out to Nassian or to left back, whoever's there. But at other points, they're not even there for him to throw to. I just think it's just. Sorry, Dave. I just think it's just there doesn't seem to be any sort of pattern to what we're doing once he's got the ball. Who's available? Other teams come here. They know damn well the goalkeeper's got it right. The 2 centre halves are dropping back. They're going to pick the ball up. And to be fair to Crewe, they did it a couple of times. And Glenn, who sits next to me, my mate, he was saying, "Craig, we're going to catch him out here. We're going to catch him out here." But a couple of times they actually played out from the back. Our press is so poor and porous that they play through it. And they're up the other end of the pitch within 4 or 5 passes, having a shot on our goal. 2 against 1 or 3 against 2 against our defence.
And again, another bugbear of mine is we bring every player back for a corner. Every player's back for a corner. So if he does catch the ball, which I think he might have done once, if not twice, where's he going to kick it?
Celina has to peg it, doesn't he?
It's not really
But what benefit, again, referring to my mate Glenn again, sorry, but he says, what's the point of having Celina back for a corner and Chaplin back for a corner? What are they adding? What are they adding to the whole?
Celina won a header in the corner on Tuesday against Rotherham, by the way. But
you have them up front.
I'm joking.
They've got to take 3 players up the
Just split them. Just split them wide. You're so right. Yeah, I totally understand Bon. He's 6 foot. Yeah, getting back in there. Totally understand that. But and he did. But that was a poor corner that doesn't miss another bugbear that doesn't miss the first man. But just put Chaplin and just split the set. They've got to leave 3 back then. That was partly the reason. It is partly the reason we conceded that first goal at Sunderland, because Walton just had too much traffic to get through to get to the ball. Okay, bad decision, but by the time it'd gone for it, it was about 5 players converging on it.
I'm going to put this. Go on, Craig. Go on.
No, I say it just seems strange. We go through phases of having, because Lambert did the same thing. Then all of a sudden, we had 2 people up front, and they were literally on either touch line, the halfway line. And then the next week, everyone's back. And then obviously McCarthy had everyone. He's even getting subs on the pitch to just push him back. We had 14
men
back
on the post
at some point.
4 men on the post.
They're stacking them up on line on top of each other.
Terry Connor was back there at one point.
If you want to find the most disappointed person of today, it's James. I was in the lower north concourse when he scored that goal.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a few that nipped out near us as well. Always nip out for a pie on about 41, 42. Wow.
Andy, at last, 3 points. Not the greatest team performance for 3 points. Are we in danger of overlooking this very important point from Andy that we did win the game, guys? Or is it about how as much as what at the moment?
Of course, 100%, Andy. It's important we won the game. But as you said, Rich, at half time, we're 2-0 up. We were expecting us to be strolling out 3-0, 4-0. You know, we're here, we're ahead. Fortunately, we're ahead 2-0. But again, we didn't. Maybe we should have done with the chances we had, but we didn't. And if you're playing this, it's so hit and miss at the moment, from one week to the next, from one opponent to the next. Doesn't matter if they're top of the league or bottom of the league, as you showed today. Every performance is just so hit and miss that, you know, you just don't know what you're going to get from one game to the next. You do fear Charlton and
we're definitely not like a box of chocolates, are you?
We're not. Like, we were very, very good against Sunderland for the majority of that game. We really were. We were good. Just perhaps a final ball and stuff, but yeah, absolute domination. So perhaps, you know, against Charlton, Wigan away, it may well just come easier.
And that pressure
seems to come out a bit.
Pressure from the anxiousness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Folk have been giving us their goals. I did flash a few of these up on the screen, but for the benefit of those listening in Podland, Jimmy 1 versus Sheffield United free kick. I've posted that on Goal Machine. In fact, most of these I have. Brambles 80-yard run v Sunderland. Yeah,
memorable.
He only had that under control for the last 5 yards.
Great assist from Marcus Stewart for that one goal, by the way. Simon, Leighton Baines against us. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, goals against that might be the best I've seen at Portman Road against us.
Jackson goal v Millwall, more recent times from Brian there. I'll have to look that one up on the YouTube. Here we go on Bon. Inevitable questions, playing devil's advocate. I'll put this up there. Jack 97, is Bon undroppable? It seems that way. And just to parlay into that, Charlie D, so frustrating to see Piggott not being used. I think he actually trotted up to the touchline ready to come on. I'm not sure he even came on in the end. Is Bon undroppable, guys?
I suppose it's difficult, isn't it? Because and I appreciate it is difficult for Piggott when he does come into the teams for these cup matches. It's not with the full team behind him, creating chances, etc. But he's not been pulling up trees. You know, I'm playing devil's advocate here. He's not pulling up trees when he has played and played from the start in the cup games. But I would imagine, these 2 games during the Arsenal and then the FA Cup at the weekend, Piggott will be starting both of those, I would have thought, and be told, look, you go out and score a couple of goals in those games, and you'll be starting at Charlton. Yeah, you'll get a chance. He's got because fair play to Cook again. He's giving everyone as much chance they can to cement a place, but he does his hard work, etc. But you can't be missing the chances he missed today because they could become gilt-edged, couldn't they?
Yeah, that could have been the difference between a 1 point and 3 today, couldn't they? If Crewe had found their way back into it.
I can categorically say Mr. Cook wasn't pleased with Macaulay Bond's missed chances today.
Okay.
Won't say any more. Said enough.
Talking about favourite goals, then let's talk about those. I was there when Paul scores.
Now you're talking.
James Roddick's got the T-shirt. He was there.
I was going to say, has he got the T-shirt? Yeah,
like John Jensen or whatever it was.
Wow.
Matt was asking something, and I've now lost it. Apologies, Matt. You've posted some really good stuff. Let me go back and see if I can find it. Only because he was agreeing with me. Matt, there's a huge gap between Bon and midfield, as you say, Rich, and I can see why we don't cross in the box, as it's often empty. There, big frustration that for me as well. Your thoughts on that, Dave?
Well, I think we spoke about Evans. Spoke about Evans being a box-to-box. We haven't got. I don't think we've got a box-to-box midfield player, have we? Because obviously Morsey, certainly not from central position. Morsey doesn't do it. Evans certainly doesn't do it. I wouldn't say Fraser's that type player, although did he do it? Reasonable amount of goals last year for MK. I think quite a few pens in there. But do you know what? He has done it. He's done it in the Championship, that guy as well.
For the benefit of Podland, Simon said John Nolan would get a hat full of goals. running from midfield.
But then Fraser
be fit first. Simon.
Fraser has said himself, hasn't he, that he's a number 8. He doesn't see himself as a number 10. He doesn't see himself as a number 4. Certainly doesn't see himself as a number 11 out on the wing. Fraser sees himself as a number 8, which is by definition a
box to box.
Box to box. Yeah, that's right. But Paul Cook doesn't play that formation, allowing that player to be there, which might take you to a wider conversation about, well, why the bloody hell did you sign him in the first place if he doesn't fit into your? Why did you sign Raheem Harper if he doesn't fit into the formation that you're playing?
Louis Barry.
Yeah.
I mean, it does.
He's available. Let's get him. But we're playing Football Manager again.
No, you're right. It just seems that these players are available. Yeah, he's got a good reputation. Yeah, we'll get Harper, lovely. Yeah, we'll get him in without a thought of really how they fit within the overall team structure.
Yeah, I play 4-2-3-1, but I'm going to sign players that don't necessarily fit into a 4-2-3-1 formation.
Lots of Simon. I'm going to put this up there just because just for the reaction it will get. Edwards. I've now caught up with the chat where we were talking about Edwards. Would be top drawer if he knew where the goal was, and then Simon said Edwards is becoming like Jet. No one products early at this. J. Emmanuel. I'll call him Jet when he moves like one.
Stop it! What a player! What a player!
He was doing all right in Scotland, wasn't he, Jet, for a bit?
God, he got. Yeah. If there was a player that had everything, it was him.
Here's Joseph Fares.
we christened my son's first ever teddy bear was called Jet because he was our favourite player. He was fantastic player, silky player.
There you go.
So that is about something like FIFA. That'd be like a FIFA goal, would it? Is that what Joe's describing?
Should someone tell Kyle Evans just to dribble the ball into the goal rather than worrying about shooting or crossing? Thanks, Joe. We'll pass that one on. Maybe he's watching. Yeah, I think Paul's a lot of people's thinking up without being controversial. No, be controversial, Paul. That's what we want. Is it time to give Piggott a run out? I think, as we've said, he's going to get the 2 games this week, isn't he, guys? And it's up to him to stake a claim. Hashtag.
And I suppose it's difficult from Paul Cook's perspective. It's difficult. He needs to keep Bon onto the pitch for as long as possible to hope that he gets the goal that he needs to get his confidence up, doesn't he? As well. So it's like a double-edged sword.
This is Paul Cook. He might second guess us all and play Bond to get his confidence back.
Might play Louis Barry up front. Just Piggott misses out completely. How about that? What else have we got? Lots and stuff. And let me dip into some Twitter questions because we did ask that. Tractor Guy the Third, I think, Tractor Boy Pete. Interested to see Cook arguing with a fan at the end, just in front of DD. Did he hear what it was about? Could you understand? Do I need to do
the voice? No, he like I said, this guy was basically having a bit of a rant at him for not getting poor old Joe Piggott off because Joe Piggott was stripped, ready to go, and for some reason this was like 90+2. I think he told him to get stripped just as the 4 minutes went up, I think, and he was waiting, obviously bloody freezing his nuts off on the side for a couple of minutes. Ball didn't get out of play, so consequently didn't get on. So he actually was trudging off just in front of us, not looking too happy. And to be fair to Cook, a guy, he was walking, as he did, probably about 10 yards away. Heard what the guy was saying. Hey, Cook, get Piggott on. Why don't you get Piggott on? And he came over. To be fair, he came over, and I think he misunderstood because I think he thought the guy was just basically berating him, saying, "Look, we were crap today. Why you're a crap manager? Why are we so rubbish?" And he then that's when he said, "Hey mate, no, I can say I won't say it." But
he was so close.
If I give you the text, he said, "Hey mate, I think you've just seen Macaulay Bond miss 2 sitters. I'll leave it at that."
Hey mate, there was the post match. There was one part way through a sentence, which usually doesn't happen. The voice change. Yeah, I've not really got it. I'm not in the.
You're not feeling it, are you?
I'm not performing monkey lines.
That's what he said. He said Macaulay Bond missed 2 sitters, mate.
He missed 2 sitters.
Just
I can't do
it.
These bloody thespians, mate. They're just so
flaky,
aren't they?
I know they are, aren't they?
I'll do it overnight, guys.
Prima donnas, aren't they?
I know. And that was it, really. But fair play to him for coming over. He heard what he said, and he came over.
Didn't do the old Keno thing.
Not at all. Not confronted him as such, but heard what he had to say. Obviously, completely misunderstood it. But no, fair play to him.
Yeah,
I like that.
Elder Grizzly are still looking like a bunch of expensively assembled strangers rather than a team. 20 games in, that should be better, shouldn't it?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? And that is exactly what it looks like, to be fair. There are flashes, there are glimpses, there is patches, small little patches of play where it does click between Celina and Chaplin and Fraser. And sometimes I actually think that, and again, we were chatting about it, Celina's just a little bit above, like Dazelle was at some points. He's playing passes that people aren't reacting to. They're not expecting it. Bond's touch isn't quite there because he wasn't expecting it to be pinged into him when it was, and things like that. But across the mind, we're no longer in August, are we? We're 2-3 days away from December now, so that's no longer an excuse for anybody. Especially when you look at other teams who, did maybe not to quite the same volume, but weren't a million miles away from getting a similar amount of players in through the door, and who were, somewhere closer to the top of the league than we are currently.
Also, what I should say, another reason why Paul Cook might have come over, I had a little card saying, "Paul, can I have your training top?" But I think he just totally ignored that one.
Can I have your coffee?
Yeah, yeah. I hope has he got a proper, recyclable cup, reusable cup? Yeah,
I don't think they have yet. No,
I'm not
still
sure he has.
That is carbon footprint. Anyway,
Yeah.
I need to balance this as well because a few folks saying it's all about the 3 points for me at the moment.
Yeah.
Lee says main thing we've got the 3 points, but we do need to be better though. This is hopefully maybe a platform. Mullet on the Twitter. Well, we won. Are we too complacent, or do we just not have the right balance to maintain any sort of intensity over a game? And just to lob that in, I've lost it, I'm afraid. There was someone asking about body language as well after 30 minutes.
Just a quick
Stevie,
okay.
It seems like our heads dropped in the last 30 minutes. The body language looked like we were half asleep. The urgency disappeared and we just seemed slow and laboured. I can't understand why. Go on, Craig.
Yeah, what is it? So just quickly go back about the 3 points. Yes, of course they're important, but you've got to follow up with another 3 points and another 3 points and another 3 points. And we haven't done lots of 3 points in 3 games under Paul Cook yet, let alone 5 games with 3 points and 6 games of 3 points, which we now need to get ourselves anywhere up towards the top of the table. That's the issue, isn't it? It's following up and following up and following up again. Sorry, what was the question?
Body language. Half an hour last 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Is that where the crowd started to come into effect maybe as well? There was a lot of erring and all that kind of stuff.
But then, as Matt said, my wall planner just fell off the wall. Oh,
right.
See that? Quick. As Matt said though earlier, the substitutions sort of killed us a little bit, didn't they? Rather than giving us a bit more momentum and a bit more urgency and a bit more they just seemed to just deflate us a little bit.
I just thought the Evans substitution was a strange one.
Yeah, and I think I think Fraser gets lost when you move him further forward up the pitch. I think he made a contribution.
Yeah, he's not a number 10, is he? He's not a number 10. That ball, when you talked about the ball he played through to Bond, that wasn't from a number 10 position, was it?
No,
it was from a number 8 position.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, from deeper.
But then, sorry,
I just as you look for the questions. But Evans, at some point, he completely stitched up Morsey when he had a pass to play forward, didn't, checked and played back and stitched Morsey up. And Morsey had like 2 guys literally running towards him as the pass was being played, and they broke again. So it's just sort of an ingrained cautiousness in players for some reason. There's no reason to be there.
Pissing Cook off as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's saying he's not telling him to do it.
It's that old line, isn't it? It's just about being brave with the ball, taking risks, be brave with it. You're good enough players to do it. Just be confident, for Christ's sake, for doing it. And I've heard Cook come and say before, he's never going to berate anyone for trying to play a forward pass if it's on. Then if the forward pass is on, we will berate someone if he plays it sideways. He doesn't want us to play like that.
No.
So it's.
But that's the crazy thing, isn't it? Why is that?
It's a conundrum, isn't it? I don't know. It's a conundrum. That is it. I don't know. Players just aren't being brave with the ball. It's all a bit safe, isn't it?
But for him to come out after the match and say, "I'm not telling these players not to have shots and not to get crosses in." Well, where's the disconnect then?
Yeah, if the players aren't doing what you're telling them to, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Maybe you should pick players that will do what you say. It feels like it's his team.
But to flip that, it's not as if we're playing so far up the park where we're trying to walk the ball in, because it's not where we're playing it, is it?
Yeah.
It's not where we're playing safe. We're playing safe on the halfway line.
Interesting. Yeah, strange. Alex Hare, Crewe weren't bad today, and we scraped past them thanks to a wonder goal. David mentions that as well, which won't happen every week. So is mid-table our level for this team with these tactics? Who wants to take that one?
Certainly is at the moment.
It is at the moment. League table don't lie.
I can't
as the
see
cliche
it.
says.
Can you? You know, we said before the Oxford, what was it? These 3 games that the Oxford, not this one, but the Oxford, how did it go? Oxford, Sunderland, Rotherham, didn't it? And we were surmised, I think I was on 2 or 3 weeks ago, saying, you know, what do we think? What would be a realistic good haul for us? And we said, oh, yeah, 7 points. Yeah, we want 7 points for those. Yeah, Rotherham decent, but we'll beat Oxford. Well, yeah, we're capable of, you know, going away and beating Sunderland. We're just nowhere near it. And so you look at the next 3 games, which are going to league games. So Charlton away, Wigan away, Sunderland at home. Can you seriously see us getting 7? I can't see us getting maybe, I don't know. I can't see us getting 9 points, but then we've sort of done that before.
But to climb out the table, Dave, we've got
you need to. You have
7 points, 9 points, haven't we?
Have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely have to. But you just don't see it.
Worth saying that for November, our tally in the league of 2 wins and a draw, obviously 2 defeats as well, but in terms of points, that's obviously 7 points.
Oh yeah, I saw someone
out of 5.
Yeah, I
that's
saw someone do that.
1.4 points per game. Over the course of the season, 1.4 points per game is 64 points, and that's good enough for 14th position, some 10 points off the playoffs. I don't know, that's a microcosm, obviously, but that just gives you a sense of the level of performance.
I saw someone put that on Twitter when they did the points haul from the various 5-game or 5-game segments. Was there one segment where we got 10 points? Was there?
Maybe I need to dig out my graph. I did that, but I can't find it.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And
but anyway,
caveat that in Division 3.
In Division 3, yeah. Talking of Division 3, very quickly, let's put the league table up just to depress us a little bit and talk through some of the key results from yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but when we're not playing, I don't really care about what's happening in League One. In terms of obviously top of the table, we know all about Rotherham. It was, what did they do? I'm trying to get my windows in the right position. Rotherham drew with Oxford, away 0-0. Wigan
an away win.
Wigan an away win away at Plymouth, no less as well.
Did Will Keane score?
I think he.
Lang scored the winner. I'm not sure if Keane got the other one. Not sure.
Marley will tell us.
He will. Wycombe drew 2-2 with Sheffield Wednesday. Sunderland now into the top 6 with their games in hand.
They're just
still
awful.
That was a 2-1 away win at Cambridge for them. MK Dons in great form as well. 4-0 win for them at Morecambe. And then just outside, you've got Sheffield Wednesday now picking up points. We've obviously mentioned their draw with Wycombe.
Rubbish. Look at
Oxford.
that.
And then Pompey, as you say, were pretty crap for a while. We obviously beat them. They beat Gillingham away, which isn't too much of a surprise. Burton kind of lingering around there. They beat Doncaster. So it is kind of, it's a strange old situation at the top, and you do feel on 27 points, 7 points adrift of MK, having played a game more than them as well, and 2 more than Sunderland. It's not looking.
How well's he doing at MK? How well's that Liam Manning doing there?
Yeah.
Really brilliant. I just didn't realise that. They're now pipped us on goals as well. They're now scored more goals than we have as well.
And it sounds like Scott Twine's in the business, but also that Matt O'Reilly that we talked about, Dave, at the start of the season.
He's signed the wrong one.
Doing really well there. Signed the wrong one.
Wouldn't that be a lovely? That would be wouldn't that just be a lovely appointment to make? You know, as and when Cook is, just to get someone like Liam Manning, that so young, forward thinking, but he's not going to happen. You know damn well that
he's got
Frank Lampard will be coming in.
Chris Hogg with him as well, I think. The other Ipswich.
There's no one in a million years. I don't think they'd ever entrust it to them.
Not yet.
No, it's a shame. Well, we are close to wrapping up. If you're in the live chat with us still, if you've hung on in there for the full hour, good on you. Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. And we tried to cover as much comments as we can, but you've got time if you want to say goodbye or give us any of your favourite Portman Road goals. We want to hear from those. We also must mention our good friend Bits, who's done another super chat, super generous this week, but not happy in the chat there with his poop emoji and a naughty word, which will get us a slap in the wrist from
No wonder he's
YouTube.
smoking cigars in his profile pic.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you very much, Bits. We really appreciate that.
Cheers,
and if you want to
Bits.
support us, if you want all the details of how to support us or where to find our podcast feed, our
just one
video
question.
feeds.
It always donates. Have we ever met? Has anyone met Bits? Do we know?
Yeah, Bits is Turbo the Sailor on Instagram. I think that's Mike. I might be wrong. If I've got it wrong, Bits, do tell us.
Yeah, come and take my photo, Mike. I see you, but you never come and take my photo.
Wrong end, might be. You need to be up the right end of the ground. Blue Monday ITFC, before I was so rudely interrupted, Blue Monday ITFC.co.uk. All the details that you need to find are there. That's why we have a website. Instagram, I forgot to do stuff today. That's why there's nothing on it, but there usually is. Craig sent me photos and I was too busy moaning or being cold. So we'll sort that out. But yeah, all of the stuff, including how to donate via PayPal, all that kind of stuff is there. Craig put his hand up, so I'll come to you.
Yes, talking about photos, mate, I need to know who that guy is that walks along the touchline 10 minutes before the match wearing yellow shoes and like a camel skin overcoat. Every match he's there. He walks along the touchline. He's got a beanie hat on. He's a bald guy. He's got a beanie hat. He's got a camel skin coat. He's got bright yellow shoes. He walks along the touchline and sits behind the dugouts. If anyone knows who he is, let me know.
I can quickly. Are we allowed to use the photo that I was sent?
You may use that photo. Yes.
ID him.
Yeah, that fella there. He's not a clown, even though he's wearing clown shoes. Look at them bad boys.
I saw him. Like I said, I saw him walking around the back of the Sorrel late after the game.
I mean, you're not helped us by showing the back of his head, frankly. But there you go. If you know who the guy is with the
next
nice
time,
jacket,
I'll shout out to him from two tiers above.
Joe has kindly shared the XG from the day. There you go.
Oh.
Have a look at that.
Wow.
Not that anyone cares about XG, but there you go.
So you can probably extrapolate from Celina's shot there.
Yeah, it's basically flat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going up too much, is it?
An XG of 0.1 from Celina, maybe. There you go. We'll find that one out. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. In terms of shows next week, Arsenal under-21s is Wednesday. We obviously have an FA Cup tie against Barrow. I would imagine we're unlikely to do a post-match reaction show after Arsenal win the EFL trophy. So we might seek to combine the pre-match and the live show from midweek, but we'll put all the details on our Twitter and our socials, so you'll find out that way. We'll let you know what's going on there. And Craig and Dave, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your insights and your input. And just finishing off everything in the comments before we say goodbye. Sunderland were really poor and they are 5th. What does that say about us, Stephen, eh? Charlie D, thanks, chaps. Onwards and upwards. Thank you to Eric. Thank you for Matt for joining us. I am Bits, and so is my wife, says Skip.
Life of Brian references. That's what we need.
That went straight over my head, but I put that up there because I thought that might be
nice
more your
one,
cup of
Skip.
tea. And Bits, there you go. I will catch you one day with this camera. I'm in bits after that second half, says Lee. There we go. Gary Blake, the Game Changer, watch the podcast. They must know the fans are restless. We know that Mark Steed watched the podcast to get an insight from the fan perspective before the takeover. If they're watching today, hello guys. I hope you found our feedback measured. You're always welcome to come and join us as well. But in answer to your question, Gary, we don't know for sure.
They definitely, but actually, as you referenced, they definitely did. Not just us. They did all. They name checked it. Due diligence on all podcasts. They really did their due diligence on those of the days and everything, just to see what the fans were like, and they're not a bunch of idiots.
So they are paying attention.
Well done, everyone, for not being a bunch of idiots.
Yep. And finally, Lee. Oh, we'll end on this one. Won't find Barrett easy. We didn't re-hold him. There you go. Something to be looking forward to for the week ahead. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us on the live stream and for your chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we I will see what we do about live shows in the future on the flagship. Quite like to keep them different, but horses for courses and all that. And you can find our live show midweek. As I said, Dave, Craig, thank you guys. Who wants to say the final goodbye before we head off for the week?
Go on, Craig. Give it something.
Jesus Christ, mate! You've thrown me under. You're like a Lee Evans pass to Morsey. You've thrown me right under the bus.